Welcome to episode 27 of the Rise Fitness and Nutrition Podcast. I am your host, Carlo. Today we're talking about something a little bit unusual. We are talking about hiring or not hiring a coach to help you with your progress. Did you ever think about it? What are the pros? What are the cons? What are the features you should look for in a coach or what not? Let's find out. Happy listening. Sometimes we need some help. Sometimes we need some accountability. Sometimes we need a reason to be consistent or something that will help us being consistent. And this reason can be very different. It changes from person to person. It can be anything. But in some cases, it could be money. And I know this sounds very materialistic, but think about it. If you pay for something, that something, whatever it is, acquires a value because you spend your hard-earned cash to get it. Whereas if you don't, you get things for free. Yeah, sure, they do have a value, but, the value is less important because you got them for free. And you think I'm wrong? Alright, let me give you a few examples. Let's imagine you get a course for free online. Are you really gonna go through it entirely? And I'm saying this because we all do this. Oh, just click here to get this free ebook on something. Yeah, I click there. Here is my email. I get the ebook. Did I open it? No. Or click here to do this and that. You click there. And then do you do what they say? No. Or here is an ebook with 1,000,000 workouts you can do at home with nothing but your body weight. Do you do them? Maybe. But they're free. So who cares? I'll get them and then maybe I'll do them sometimes. And the same goes for advices and strategies on your nutrition. If you hear good advices for free, yeah, they have a value maybe. But if you pay for somebody to tell you those things, oh wow, it's another story. And on this, I do have personal examples. There was a person and she asked me A to the Z what to do to, change her body. Transform her body, gain more muscle, lose fat. And I explained her A to the Z, everything she needed to do, multiple times, in great detail. I took all the time that was needed, and she had 1,000,000 questions, and I replied to each and every one of them, for free. Now, what do you think she did? Did she follow any of my advices? Did she follow any of my strategies or any of my recommendations? No. Did she follow any of the workouts, ideas, and plans that I gave her? No. What did she do instead? She joined the gym. So she paid the gym membership, hired a trainer from the gym, paid him as well, and he gave her some training advices and strategies, which she did follow, and he gave her some nutrition ideas and strategies that she did follow. But then she told me all about it. And, I was a little bit laughing inside because whatever the trainer told her was exactly what I told her for free. What is the difference here? She had to pay for it. And if you invest your money, that means that you invest your time because money doesn't grow on trees. If you invest your money on something, you're going to stick to the plan because, damn, I paid for it. I'm going to do it. Far from saying that money is a driver for everybody, but think about it. And I think about that myself. If I pay for something, like hell, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna go through it, even if I had to finish it on my knees. And this is all to say something. Money is a driver. Money, in some cases, is the starter for your motivation. And again, I said this before. Yeah, it does sound materialistic. It sounds like, oh, whoa, it's all about the money. Well, it's not all about the money. But if you earn your own money, that means you use your time, you use your life working to get something out of it. And then you invest it to get something out of something else. And it's only natural to imagine that, well, if I pay for it, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Whereas if it is for free, whatever the value that it has, there's so much free stuff all over the place that it's overwhelming. But yeah, of course, it's not the same for everybody. Reasonably, some people don't care about that. If they get something for free, they'll finish it and they go through it like it's nothing. But for the majority of us, regular people, this might be the case. So in this situation, money is a driver for accountability and for consistency. You pay for something, you show up every time, you do your job, you get your results, it's motivating, you keep on doing it. So here's the question. Should you consider hiring a coach? And most importantly, what are the features that I would recommend looking for in a coach? First thing first, should you hire a coach? Well, probably so. If you know yourself and you know you had troubles with consistency and you need somebody that is accountable but not a family or a friend, because you can still quote unquote cheat on them, so you need somebody which is a third party that holds you accountable for your fitness decisions, well, then you probably should. Secondly, if you don't have the experience or the knowledge and you need a plan, you need a strategy, you need a track to follow, and you have no idea where to start from, before jumping weekly from program to program that you find for free on Instagram or in any kind of website, then probably you should also consider hiring somebody that can give you a plan, that explains it to you, and that you can stick to it for at least a couple of months to start seeing some results. That said, what kind of features should you search in a coach to be sure that a coach is good for you? In my opinion, the basic one is experience, right? That's, of course, it goes without saying. You need somebody that has some experience. And how do you certify this? How do you quantify the experience? Well, you might want to search for certifications, although not necessarily holding a certification is a mark of quality. But having some sort of certification will tell you if this person has spent some time at least doing some study, doing some research on whatever thing he or she is going to coach you. The second thing I would recommend you to search for in a coach is the fact that he or she has coached one-on-one in person a certain number of clients. Now, I don't know what's the good number of clients, but you need somebody that has experience in one-on-one coaching live, on the floor, in front of a person. That is because when you coach one-on-one physically somebody on the side of the coach, you grow your experience and you grow your knowledge, knowing how people react to specific exercises and cues. Therefore, if you're there, you can learn, okay, this cue works, this cue doesn't. Oh, I can see the person from this angle, which is good, better than this other angle. So if you're looking for somebody that can coach you and this person does not have one-on-one physical experience, so this person is exclusively coaching you online, that might be a little bit of a red flag. Not necessarily all the online coaches are bad, but if you want to coach somebody on a specific exercise or some training, you need to see if they can tell and they can explain you without being there. And more than often, if a person does online coaching only, they lack this feature if they had no previous experience with real people. Then, importantly, if you can find some referral, if you can get in touch with anybody that had previously worked with this coach, that will be great, because you can understand firsthand by listening to other people's comments and reviews and feedbacks if this person can be good for you or not. Believe me, there's nothing more important than hearing somebody else's experience other than listening to the coach sales pitch, if you want to say, or the coach's own presentation. Then what type of coaching works better for you? Let me give you an example. I specifically don't like to be extremely strict. If I have a client to work with, I will explain them. I will explain everything that's needed, A to the Z, as many times as it is needed, both in the training part and most importantly in the nutrition part. But then ultimately I will leave the work in the hands of the client. And I will not be aggressively telling the client what to do, when to do it, to report me, let me know every single thing they do. Because I believe that if you want to do something to change your own body and to change something in yourself, you should do it yourself. Sure, guidance is important, and again, guidance has to be provided, but then ultimately I will not necessarily take you by the hand and drag you towards your goal, because that ultimately wouldn't teach you anything. I would not coach you. I will simply take you from point A to point B, and I don't believe in that. So what kind of coaching works for you? You should understand that. Do you feel like you might need somebody that tells you exactly what to do every minute, every time, and then follows you sort of aggressively to see if you're sticking to the plan? Or are you okay with somebody that explains you everything, gives you the responsibility of your own decisions, and then follows up with you to troubleshoot and give you support anytime is needed? Mind you, there's nothing bad if you need somebody that is very strict with you, if you think that kind of coaching works for you. Because, again, we are all different. Something that works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. And then last but not least, this is actually very important. This is probably the most important thing. Talk to this coach that you would like to hire. Talk to this person first. Figure out what kind of person this coach is. What is his or her own style. Figure out if there's a little bit of positive vibes in the conversation. Try to figure out that, because ultimately you might see somebody that looks like a great coach, that has amazing results, but then when you talk to him or her, it's just tremendously annoying for you. There's something in his way of interacting with people that doesn't really work. And ultimately, even if the programs you receive are great, even if the advices you receive are great, if the relationship with the person does not work, that will make it harder to stick to them, because ultimately you have some sort of internal refusal. Like, I don't like this person, I don't work with this person, everything is good, but I hate it. And that's something that you don't want to have, because that will not help you with your progress. What about the features you don't want to have in a coach? You might have guessed it already. I personally do not believe in extra strict coaches that will give you a super strict nutrition plan and that will give you an unreasonably hard training program, and then they will taunt you and point the finger at you if you don't do exactly as they say. One thing. And then I personally also don't think it's a good idea to find a coach that has a cookie cutter system. Let me explain what I mean. Sometimes when you apply online for coaches, you receive immediately plans. But then the plan you receive is not made for you. The plan you receive is just automatically made. So when you apply to this kind of coaching system, whatever training or whatever nutrition is not thought for you. It's just standard. And I do believe that we're all different, and then we all need some adjustment. Again, the training plan that works for me might not be ideal for you, and vice versa. A nutrition plan that works for me might not be good for you at all. So sometimes you apply for those coaches that treat you and everybody else as a standard person. So they give you these cookie cutter programs because, like cookies, they're all the same. You get what I mean? Lastly, in my opinion, I believe that having a coach to start your journey with might be ideal. Because, again, if you lack the experience, if you lack the knowledge, but you have the power, the will, the desire, then having somebody that can help you start your journey could be a very good motivation, could be a very good tool for your accountability and for your consistency. It's about finding the right person, the right coach for you, which might take some time, but it will definitely pay off. And that's a wrap for today's episode. What do you think about it? Are you going to try to hire a coach? Are you going to avoid that? I'll be curious to hear your opinion on my Instagram channel at thecarl.fit. Hey, one thing you can do for me if you are enjoying my podcast is this. Please share it and tag me on your social channels and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. That would be super great. Happy rest of the week.